Welcome back to another episode of Intentional Living. Today, I want to start off with a question. Have you ever looked around at your life and thought, why doesn't this feel right anymore? And it's not because anything is necessarily wrong. You have a good job, you have supportive family and friends, you have a lot of people who love you, you are managing your responsibilities well. From the outside looking in, everything looks fine. People think you got it going on. But inside, something feels off, right? And if you've ever felt that way, or if you feel that way right now, I want you to know you're not alone. More importantly, I want you to consider a possibility that many of us never give ourselves permission to explore. And that is, what if nothing is wrong with you, me? What if nothing is wrong? What if you're not failing? What if you're not broken? What if you are simply, experiencing discomfort because you've outgrown the season of life that you are in? And so I want to talk about that today, because I believe many of us spend years trying to fix something or trying to fix ourselves when what we really need is clarity. So one of the things I've noticed in my work with women is how quickly we assume that being uncomfortable or discomfort means something is wrong. So we tell ourselves that we should be grateful, right? We should be happy. We should have it all figured out. And then we have these feelings of frustration and restlessness and dissatisfaction showing up. And we immediately begin questioning ourselves, right? We start beating ourselves up. We start thinking maybe we're not trying hard enough. Maybe we're making the wrong decisions and wrong choices. That could be. Maybe we need to change our goals. Maybe we need to work a little harder. But what if your discomfort doesn't mean that you failed, or it isn't a sign of failure? It's just information, right? It's your life trying to tell you that there's something you need to pay attention to. And I think what happens frequently to successful women who are capable, we're responsible, we're dependable, we have spent years doing what needed to be done or what we believe we should be doing. We're building careers, we're raising families, we're supporting others, we're meeting all of the expectations that other people have for us, right? The challenge is that sometimes we become so focused on fulfilling our responsibilities that we stop paying attention to ourselves. We keep moving, we keep producing, we keep performing. And one day, eventually, right, we wake up and we realize that the life we've built no longer aligns with who we are becoming. It no longer feels right. And that doesn't mean that we failed. It just means we're changed, right? We've changed, we're becoming, and growth often creates tension before it creates clarity. So let's talk about the difference between being stuck and being out of alignment. So a lot of people use those words interchangeably, right? But they're not the same thing. Being stuck often means you don't know what action to take. Like you don't know what to do. Being out of alignment means you may know exactly what you need to pay attention to, but you haven't really acknowledged it yet. You haven't really come to terms with you need to make a change. You may be staying in a pattern that no longer fits. You're holding on to expectations that no longer serve you. You're continuing to commit to things that no longer reflect your priorities. And you're trying to be a version of yourself that doesn't align with the season that you are in right now. That's not stuck. That's disconnection. from what is true for you right now, and there is a difference. So how do you know if you've outgrown a season? Here are a few signs. You're exhausted by things that once energized you, like things that used to energize you now just make you tired. You're questioning yourself. You're questioning decisions that you've made, right? You feel restless, even when everything appears to be stable and working out well. And you keep thinking about change, but you talk yourself out of it. You feel disconnected from what you want, your needs, and your desires. And you spend more time meeting expectations than really listening to yourself. And you have a hard time answering a simple question. What do I want? Those signs don't necessarily mean you need to make a dramatic life change. But they may be inviting you to stop, pause, and pay attention. And so one of the most powerful things we can do during a season like that is tell ourselves the truth, right? Not the polished version, not what feels and sounds good, not what's socially acceptable, but the honest version. Because honesty creates clarity. Being honest with yourself creates clarity, and clarity creates options. And many of us want clarity before we're willing to be honest. But it works the other way around. You have to become honest with yourself first, then clarity begins to emerge. Acknowledge what no longer works. Figure out and admit what is draining you. Recognize what has changed. And from that awareness, you can begin making intentional decisions. So where do you start? You start by paying attention. You start by asking yourself, what feels heavy right now, right? What's weighing me down? What am I tolerating? What have I outgrown? What no longer fits the season of life that I am in? And where am I operating out of obligation instead of intention? And what have I been questioning that I haven't given myself permission to explore? And you don't need to solve everything today. You don't need a 5-year plan. You don't need all the answers. You just simply need the willingness to become curious about what your life is trying to tell you. And so if today's conversation resonated with you, I want to leave you with this. Your frustration may not be a problem. Your restlessness is not a weakness. Your discomfort may not mean something is wrong. All of those things may simply mean you've reached a point where who you are becoming no longer fit who you have been. That's not failure. That's growth. So the question is whether you are willing to listen to yourself. So thank you for spending time with me today. Thank you for viewing this video. And if this message resonated with you, I would love to hear from you in the comments. What is one area of your life that may be asking for your attention right now? And if you're looking for a place to begin, download the free Alignment Reset Workbook. It will help you identify where you're out of alignment and help you move forward with greater clarity and attention. And so until next time, be intentional, be honest with yourself, and just keep taking one step at a time. And I'll see you in the next video.